Just a moment. All right, we should be good.
Okay, this meeting is being held electronically pursuant to and in compliance with the continuity of government ordinance or an ordinance to effectuate the changes in certain deadlines and to modify public meeting and public hearing practices and procedures to address continuity of operations associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Adopted April the 28th, 2020 by the County of Orange Board of Supervisors in accordance with Virginia Code 15.2-1413. This meeting is accessible by YouTube, www.youtube.com// however you want to say it, channel /UCNL. The meeting will be conducted remotely and there will be no physical public access during this meeting. There will be no opportunity for the public comment. Instructions for providing public input relative to the scheduled public hearing will be reviewed during the meeting and is contained in the public hearing notice. With that being said, we'll call the meeting to order. And if each district, starting with Mr. Capel, District 1 all the way through 5, could announce themselves if they're present, please.
Yes, Jason Capel, present from 6315 Spotswood Trail, Gordonsville, Virginia.
George D. Yancey, 16170 Cox Mill Road, Gordonsville, Virginia, 22942, District 2, Planning Commissioner.
Donald Brooks, District 3, Chairperson, 9258 Everona Road, Unionville, Virginia.
Please don't 34104 Indiantown Road, Locust Grove, Virginia, 22508.
Jim
District
Hutchison, oh, excuse me. Jim Hutchison, District 5, 525 Harrison Circle, Locust Grove, Virginia.
County staff participating, would you identify yourself, please?
I'm Sandra Thornton, Planning Services Manager at my home in Louisa.
And I'm Tracy Newman, Orange, Virginia. I'm at the office right now.
I'm Eric Lansing, Assistant County Attorney, and I'm in Powhatan right now.
Okay, thank everybody. It looks like we do have a quorum. Approval of the agenda, please.
Chairman Brooks, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as advertised.
I'll second.
Commissioner from District 1, Mr. Capel, moved that we would approve the agenda. It was seconded by Commissioner of District 4, Mr. Hutchison. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Appears that the agenda is taken care of unanimously. The approval of the minutes from the May 2020 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to peruse them? And if so, I solicit a motion.
So move to approve as written.
Okay, I didn't catch who that was. Who was that?
Hutch.
Okay. Mr. Hutchins moved to be approved. Is there a second?
Jason Capel, District 1, second.
Been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Appears it's unanimous. We'll move forward. We have on the agenda item number 4, which is a continuation of our previous meeting. I'm going to stop at this point and turn it over to Mrs. Thornton because I think she has some information she wants to share with the commission, along with Mr. Lansing also.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you have seen in your agenda package, we have received communications from Mr. Hostetter, Mr. Stoddard, there are letters from them requesting a potential postponement of the proceedings at this time. And we have this week received communication from attorney Darvin Satterwhite representing the Hostetters requesting a 30-day postponement of the proceedings. I would like to just mention at this point while I'm speaking with you that we have received a few communications, public comments after our published deadline of 5 p.m. on Monday, June 15. We have forwarded those communications to the commissioners, but because they came after the deadline, they will not be included in the record for the Planning Commission proceeding.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lansing, taking up that last point first, do we have to notify them that they came after the deadline, or it's just because it's time dated and stamped, it's noted that they were behind the deadline?
We don't need to notify them.
Okay, okay. All right. Taking up the first consideration, what's the pleasure of the commission?
Mr. Brooks, this is George Yancey, District 2. Given the consideration of the letters received not only from Magpie and the Hostetters and their attorney, I believe it's prudent and in the best interest that we consider their request to postpone the SUP of 20-01 as requested.
I'll second that.
That was Mr. Hutchinson, seconded Mr. Yancey's acknowledgement that we would give them a 30-day. I have a question, if you don't mind, both gentlemen. You're just saying we're going to postpone it, but we're not really saying it's going to be actually 30 days away. You're just saying that we will acknowledge the postponement, and it may be longer than 30, but it won't be, it can't be exactly 30, and we hit our meeting dates.
I concur with that, Chairman Brooks. George Yancey,
Are you,
District 2.
I concur as well.
Mr. Lansing, are you following along what I'm saying?
I am. You're saying that the meeting wouldn't be in exactly 30 days, but we could postpone to August.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm just saying their motion should, I'm hoping their motion is not saying it'll be the 30-day, which is requested in a letter. We just won't be any less than the 30 days, but it may be more.
Sure. So you're asking George to modify his motion to postpone to the first Thursday in August, it sounds like.
That's where I'm at.
Mr. Chairman, this is George Yancey, District 2. I make a motion, I revise my motion that we accommodate the request of postponement to no later than August 6th, 2020.
Second.
And just to, I hate to be obnoxious here, a motion can't be negative. So we can't make a motion to do no later than August 6th, but there can be a motion to do August 6th.
That's what you said.
I correct my motion to read that we will have a hearing on August 6th.
Okay, and Mr. Hutchinson has agreed to that amendment. And so then I would ask Mrs. Thornton to call for the roll call vote on this to make sure we get everybody on record, starting with wherever she so desires.
Chairman Brooks,
Yes.
may I ask
Yes,
Mr. Lansing one question, please?
absolutely.
Thank you. are there any implications regarding the Planning Commission being able to make a recommendation to the board? I know there's some language about having to, make a recommendation within a certain amount of time. Does any of that come into play, or are we going to be assured that we will be able to finish our consideration of this and make a recommendation to the board?
Yeah, we're safe from that dilemma. There are deadlines that sometimes would come into play. But we're not up against those deadlines if we postpone to August 6th. Even if we were up against those deadlines, the continuity of government ordinance that was adopted by the Board of Supervisors suspends those deadlines. So we're perfectly safe.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Brooks, one question also. Given potential consideration that they may modify their proposal for the SUP, are we going to have to re-advertise this?
Mr. Lansing, I defer to you.
Yeah, it depends on how substantial the modifications are. Sandra, do you have a thought on that, on whether we would need to re-advertise? Because I think you probably are more familiar with both the advertisement and how it's been phrased.
I believe that from a technical standpoint, if the modifications were to make the use more intense than has been already advertised, we would definitely have to re-advertise. If the modifications are lessening the intensity of the use, I don't believe we're legally required to re-advertise. We may, for various reasons, decide that it would be prudent to do so in this case. But I think based on my understanding of the situation as it is now with the reduction in some of the activities, I think we would not legally have to re-advertise.
Well, that brings me to another question. And Sandra, you and I had discussed this slightly, just for full disclosure. But I think the letters of support and the letters against are on what they saw as the applicants put forth. You may have, I'm not suggesting, I'm just thinking out loud, you may have more letters for support and less against, or you may have withdrawn letters if they see the modification. Some folks in their letters was very, very explicit. I'm not trying to weigh the letters in here, but to be what's the ramification of re-advertising? It would cost us money as the county.
Well, I mean, there would be a cost, but that's, I said there, as I was indicating, it may be prudent to re-advertise. I think that's something we would want to consider. The other, I think, factor that would, I believe, come into play here is that at this point in time, I believe we anticipate having the ability to conduct an in-person meeting by August. And so that would, give the opportunity to have more discussion in the regular meeting session.
Okay, is everybody prepared to vote on the continuance to August the 6th? August the 6th. Is everybody prepared to vote on that motion? If so, I would ask Ms. Thornton to do the roll call vote on it in any order she so desires.
Mr. Capel,
Aye.
Mr. Yancey,
Aye.
Mr. Brooks,
Aye.
Ms. Zellmaker,
Aye.
Mr. Hutchinson.
Aye.
Okay, that's passed. It appears unanimous. We thank you for that The agenda shows us no work session and nothing else on the agenda. Is there anything that the commission needs to bring before the commission at this time? The only comment I would have, Ms. Thornton, as you get information, would you please disseminate it to me and to the other commissioners so we can make a timely decision if we have to alter some notification or re-advertise or something like that as you work with the attorney, you and Mr. Lansing.
Sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I may, just for technicality, there are some other agenda items listed. So should we assume that there is no Board of Supervisors report and there is no
Mr.
planning
Johnson didn't
services
sign-
report?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Before we
Mr.
adjourn,
Johnson
I
didn't-
do have some information that I wanted to convey.
Yeah,
Okay. Mr.
Chairman Brooks,
Johnson didn't
I just wanted to make sure we did address the items that were there, is all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Johnson didn't sign in and I did overlook the planning services board. Is Mr. Johnson on board with us now? Mr. Johnson? Apparently not. Then I apologize, Ms. Thornton. Go ahead with your report.
Well, it's very brief, but I did want to mention to you, and this may have some bearing on your discussion of your next meeting date. We have received a special use permit application for a RV park on property near Lake Anna in District 2. And that has gone to the application review committee. We are anticipating that matter will be placed on the August 6th public hearing agenda.
Okay, we thank you so much. Is there any questions of Ms. Thornton on that report?
Very quick, Ms. Thornton, is this the same item that maybe was called something to do with camping previously, luxury camping? Or is this another one?
No, this one's different. This is an RV park on property. It's not related to the glamping discussion and presentations that you had a year or more ago. This is a different party, and they're looking at a high-end luxury. Just looking for my notes on what they actually, the application called it. It was I apologize, I'm not seeing my note right now, but they were calling it a high-end RV resort.
Yeah, Ms. Thornton, this is the item, I think at the last meeting you mentioned might be headed our way. I'm just trying to figure out.
Perhaps I did. Yeah, that was, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
this
sorry,
isn't,
I'm sorry.
this isn't another one. This is the same one that was mentioned before. That's all I was trying to.
Yes, I'm sorry.
out.
You're
That's okay.
correct. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. Thank you so much.
I think at the line, as I'm remembering our conversation then, I think I didn't remember which district it was in, so.
That's correct. You did. District 2. Yep, exactly.
Are there any other questions? Anyone else with any comments? I solicit a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Chairman Brooks, I'm sorry again, sir. The
Okay.
item number 10 is the next meeting date on July 2nd. So have we already decided that we're not going to do that meeting?
I thought we decided that we weren't going to do that the last time we met, but maybe not because it hits us right at the 4th of July. Actually, I think that's a Thursday, but they observed the 4th of July Friday this year. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Because
That's
it's the
correct.
third. And I think we had decided that was not going to be a meeting date. I'm assuming that our next meeting date is going to be August the 6th. Is that okay with everyone?
That's fine with me, Chairman Brooks.
That's okay with me, sir, as well. This is George Ante.
So just to clarify, item number 10, our next meeting date will be August the 6th. Is there anything else on the agenda I'm skipping over? I'm really not in that
Just
big of a
trying-
hurry to tell you the truth. I don't know.
I
No, I
motion
know. I
Go ahead.
to
just want to
adjourn.
make, just want,
All right, is there a motion for us to adjourn then?
So moved.
Second,
Moved and second by, moved by
George
District
Yancey.
4 person, Mr. Hutchinson, second by Mr. Yancey, District 2, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? This motion, the motion is carried and this meeting is closed. Thank you all.